You probably just saw a Yebba or Jazmine Sullivan video and you're like, oh my god, how do I sing like that? Trust me, I totally feel you. I wish I could teach you how to sing like that, but you know, that is just a whole different league. But what today's video is about is helping you figure out how to sing R&B songs so that it sounds at least like an R&B singer is singing an R&B song and not some country singer singing an R&B song. Hey singers, it's Lara from VoxTape Studios, an online singing studio where we help singers develop their vocal technique, skill, and artistry. Believe it or not, but riffing is not the only thing that makes R&B singing. So today's video is not necessarily a riffing video. Now, we are going to introduce some riffing in today's exercise, but it's really just minimal. I have a ton, literally a ton of riffing exercises on my YouTube channel, so make sure you go ahead and check those out. But today is going to be more about all these different techniques and tools and embellishments that work together so that it is R&B singing, not just riffing. So what are all these different techniques that R&B singers are using? Again, one is riffing, but another, for example, would be tone, especially breathy voice. Breathy voice, singing like, kind of like this, is very, very, very typical for R&B. I'm not saying that every R&B singer sings with a breathy voice all the time. No, it is just a tone that gets introduced in R&B singing all the time, unlike country singing or rock singing, for example. Those genres very rarely use breathy singing. Pop uses everything. But R&B, lots of different kinds of tones, including breathy voice. Mixed voice is another big one in R&B. It seems like these R&B singers just do not have a transition or a break or a passaggio in their voice at all. I promise you they do. We all do. That is just how humans were built. But they have really mastered their mixed voice. So the transitions all seem super nice and smooth. So mixed voice is something a lot of R&B singers use. And then crunchy notes. What do I mean by crunchy notes? That basically just means you are singing a note that does not quite happen in the chord, and so it sounds a little bit dissonant, but it sounds dissonant in the best way possible. Like it sounds kind of wrong, but not wrong at all. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, there is a crunchy note inside of today's exercise, and I'm going to point it out to you. And when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's a crunchy note. Okay, I get what you mean. By the way, crunchy note is absolutely not the technical term for this. This is just the term that I use to really best describe what a kind of dissonant note is. And then the last thing I want to talk about for R&B singing is that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful balance between straight tone and vibrato. We have both in R&B singing. And something you hear a lot is a singer starting a note on straight tone and then changing into vibrato. So something like, hey. Hear how I started on straight tone and then went into vibrato? This is a super cool technique that we use in R&B singing and pop singing as well, to really add some drama to the notes. By the way, inside the VoxTape Studios green room, we dig way, way, way deeper into all these different genres and what makes them different from one another and all these different techniques and embellishments and practicing all those different things through exercises as well. So if you want to join us inside the green room and really, really, really dig deep and get access to all of our online courses, exercises, pop song exercises, and traditional exercises, our practice plan. So all you need to do is press play, which makes practicing so much easier and so much more fun as well, because you don't have to figure out what else you should be practicing. You just gotta press play. Oh, so easy. Our live streams, our community, and so much more. If you want to learn more about the VoxTape Studios green room, just click on the link in the description below. Now that you know what makes R&B, let's actually go and look at an exercise so you can practice all these different techniques and skills. This exercise was inspired by Best Part by H.E.R and Daniel Caesar. Let's have a look at how the exercise goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, these light-daddy-dies and numbers we use them to separate all the different notes, which is riffing 101 technique, right? In riffing, what sometimes can happen is all those individual notes kind of get slurry and become one scoop and slide, and that makes the song really muddy and just not what we want it to be. So something like rather than hear the difference? That's why we assign a syllable to each one of those notes. Li-da-dee-di, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. That's the only one that doesn't, like that's 3 notes, right? But just one syllable. So that's the only one that's a little bit more tricky. But this is a really, really great way to help you build your riffing skills. The the vocal folds are slightly open so that we can sing this with a breathy voice. The vocal folds are shaped like a V. They vibrate against each other to make sound. When there's a little bit of a gap, that means you have a breathy voice, and when there's no gap, that means you're singing with a connected voice. So the first hey, that's breathy, lots of air leaking through, and then yay, hey, the last couple notes are in a connected voice. So that way, you have to practice both. You have to practice how to go from breathy to connected, which is quite tricky. It's not that easy. You're the best part. So that is the crunchy note that I was talking about earlier, right? That part, that's the crunchy note. And on that note, we're starting in a straight tone, and then at the very end, we go into vibrato. And that's already the whole exercise. So now that you know how it goes, let's go and do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did it go? Were you able to keep up with all those different techniques that you needed to remember, like straight tone, then vibrato, and then here we need to sing in a breathy voice, but then we need to go back into a connected voice? It's a lot to think about. This is not an easy exercise because it works on multiple different techniques. If this was quite tricky for you, I highly recommend that you practice all those individual skills separately first. I have a bunch of videos right here on my YouTube channel that'll help you understand all these different techniques in much more depth and practice all those different techniques as well. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed so that you're going to get notified when I upload new exercises and videos, because I do all the time and you don't want to miss out. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want to dive super deep into all these different topics and really see progress in your voice by practicing efficient stuff and also practicing regularly and consistently, because we all know that that's what we need to do to see the improvements that we want to see in the voice, then come join us inside the Green Room membership. All right, that's already it for today. Thank you so much for singing with me, and don't forget to like this video if you liked this exercise. Check out these videos next for some more inspiration, and I will see you in the next one.